Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am late getting to this video today. My day got away from me, and so here I am. The market has popped a little bit, and the reason that it has popped a little bit, and if you look here, Bitcoin's up 4.5% or so, XRP's up 2.47%. But you can see a lot of green here. It looks like Bitcoin Cash is doing quite well. Bitcoin SV is doing quite well. But the reason that this is happening, and this is very important for everybody to understand, because this is a big deal for you and me as digital asset holders. Now, we never want bad things and wars and missiles to go off and people to die. That's always a horrible thing. I know people right now who are being deployed as a result of what's going on in the news right now. But what this is related to is there, and I'll show you, we'll go through it here. But the reason these prices spiked is because there's uncertainty in the world, and Trump had well, I'll just show you. There are some military actions going on around the world. But first I wanted to show you, I tweeted this out. Bitcoin has reached a $29,000 price inside of Iran, and this is as Mike Novogratz was in an article saying that Bitcoin is it's digital gold, and he tweeted it here. Nice to see Bitcoin react to global uncertainty. Now, what he's getting at here, and what you should all really get from all this, is that traditionally, anytime there are bombs going off around the world or anything significant, it scares people. And when people get scared, they traditionally, and there's uncertainty, they go, and we've talked about this a lot here, they go to gold, precious metals, and or treasury bonds, okay? Well, now we're in a world where the governments of the world have run up the debts, and the debt's out of control. I've always said that eventually these treasury bonds are not going to be looked at as the safe haven that they always were. Enter digital assets, the first new asset class since bonds were created in the 1600s, which digital assets such as XRP and Bitcoin, there's a limited amount on creation, and then once a digital asset gains traction and liquidity, and it has a limited amount, all of a sudden you have a flashpoint. Flashpoint being bombs going off, and all of a sudden the price goes up. That indicator is a big, big deal for you and me. And many times when you see economies collapse and things, and many times when you've seen things that triggered the markets to get pummeled when they probably were due to be pummeled anyway, it happens with one flashpoint. And many times those flashpoints are things like what happens. So let's go through just to show you here. This is from Jonathan D at XRP_YD7. The flashpoint here, it says Bitcoin jumped the most in 2 weeks after a U.S. drone strike killed a top Iranian military commander, fueling speculation that heightened geopolitical turmoil might spur demand for the cryptocurrency in 2020. So here you have this turmoil. Now look, this is more specifics about what happened. This was their reaction. Rockets hit base hosting U.S. forces in western Iraq. This was the reaction to this. Trump ordered this, what's his name? Qasem Soleimani. As reports filtered in out of Iraq that Qasem Soleimani had been killed in a U.S. airstrike, some administration officials quietly acknowledged American involvement. Then a tweet from President, an image of the American flag, let's see, an image of an American flag absent any commentary, and finally a statement from the Defense Department. Trump ordered a strike on Soleimani, leader of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard's Quds force, to prevent attacks on U.S. personnel. So you can see what's going on. And that is what caused the prices to go crazy. Okay. Or not crazy, but what caused the crypto and in crypto, just as in the stock markets, many times it's one flash point that the markets have been waiting for to either send it down or to send it up, usually where it probably belonged in the first place. And it takes some kind of a flash point. All right, Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. And this is from Mike Dudas, who is a very anti XRP guy. I don't even like covering his stuff, but I will because it's here. Binance CEO CZ Binance has said that there are 2 acquisition deals in the pipeline he is very excited about. These are major and will have significant impact, he said. It will be interesting to see what he's talking about. All right, and then we've got this. Now, I have not watched this video, but I wanted to make sure you all knew to go watch it because these guys right here have done a lot of really thorough research, and they've always been good guys in the community. Many of us have learned the hard way that there's good guys and there's bad guys, and these guys are good guys. But the crypto utility guy, who is also one of the good guys, wow, all XRP holders need to watch this amazing SPQR video. It is game, set, match. Bitcoin maxis watch it too, but sit down and be ready to seek counseling. Well, on this Friday night, because the digital asset investor is kind of a nerd, I'm going to sit down and enjoy their video. And I want to send you all to their video, and that is SPQR Media. And give them a subscribe. These guys are sharp, okay? And I think these guys, don't quote me, but I think they're going to be at the DLT Con in Los Angeles in May, I believe. And so, all right, but I'm going to watch this here in a few. I've watched a little bit of it, but I'm going to finish watching it. Okay. Fidelity Digital Assets tweeted this out on January 3rd, 2009. Satoshi Nakamoto mined the Genesis block of the Bitcoin network, embedded with a message for citizens of the world. And I wanted to show this because many of you, especially that are new to this, have never seen this. When Bitcoin was put out in 2009, it was not a coincidence that it happened in the middle of the financial crisis. Someone had enough of the government's printing money, bailing themselves out, and doing it at the expense of the citizens of the world, tax-paying citizens of the world. So they wrote this, and I don't understand the Genesis block and all this, that's not my bag. But someone wrote into the code of Bitcoin, January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. And I think that was all that was said. I'm not sure, but I think that was all that was said. But the point is, they were intentionally making the point that all of this bailout stuff is nothing more than the further destruction of our money. And that was Bitcoin was the answer. Brian Melancholy XRP at Mike Honcho _11. Peter Schiff, the fools on CNBC just said the worst thing that can happen to a central bank is to not be able to create inflation. In other words, print money. Creating inflation is easy. It's stopping it that's hard. The worst thing for a central bank is being unable to put inflation genie back in the bottle. Peter Schiff is so right here. Now, I don't think he's really as anti-Bitcoin as he says. In fact, I think somebody showed me today, I think it was the crypto utility guy. Peter Schiff, for those of you that don't know, he's very anti-Bitcoin, but a lot of people think that he's not really anti-Bitcoin. In fact, if you go to his website, he accepts Bitcoin as payment for gold. Pretty funny thing there. Okay, X-Men XRP sent me this, and this is very interesting right here. And by the way, he's the official superhero of the Digital Asset Investors channel. Here's what he sent me. PayThink recession risk will put real-time payments and fintech to the test. I have never heard this spin, but it's very interesting. It says, when reliable recession indicators like the inversion in the 10-2 spread start showing signs of a likely recession, both consumers and businesses will begin to prepare to cut back on spending to compensate for lower profits or incomes. When business slows down, cash flow sensitivity spikes. Buyers tend to pay slower while suppliers need money sooner, creating a stressed payments ecosystem. In those moments, it becomes even more important to understand where payments are, when they will be delivered, and to have better access to overall supply chain finance options. And if you go down here, look at this. Like the innovation we've seen when banks and fintechs collaborate, the same mindset can apply here. For example, Ripple is already available in 40 countries on 6 continents with a network of more than 200, which is actually more than 300, enrolled financial institutions. So it makes more sense to partner than build from scratch. As the demand for blockchain-powered cross-border payments grows, so will partnerships between major players that are able to execute. That is pretty interesting. I had not heard that kind of take on this. South Korea works to bring cryptocurrency into the mainstream. South Korea is considering legislation to bring cryptocurrencies into the mainstream and mulling whether to tax crypto assets. When Bitcoin was created in 2009, the idea of cryptocurrency was new and largely unregulated field. As more cryptocurrencies have been developed, there has been a growing push to regulate the industry internationally and in key markets such as South Korea. Remember, folks, South Korea was ground zero for XRP going to the moon. Well, not the moon, but on its way to the moon in 2017 when CoinMarketCap stopped factoring in the prices and tanked the price. Don't forget that. Never forget. Then I got 2 things from XRP Crypto Wolf. China's State Intellectual Property Office revised its guidebook to specify patent examination procedures regarding new tech like blockchain and AI. Effective February 1, patent applications for blockchain, AI, and big data will be subject to new regulations. And then he sent me this. The European Central Bank could offer a digital token currency that would circulate in a decentralized way without central ledger. The central bank wouldn't know who holds the tokens. ECB could design a semi-anonymous DLT CBDC and provide proof of concept. He's got the documentation here. Now, Nancy Luton, right? Nancy Luton has asked me for a title. So today, Nancy Luton becomes the official dog and pony whisperer of the Digital Asset Investor channel. So it is. And then finally, I wanted to end and send you off into your Friday with this quotation from Will Rogers. There are 3 kinds of men: the one that learns by reading, the few who learn by observation, and the rest of them have to pee on the electric fence for themselves. Will Rogers, one of the best guys one of the most witty people who's ever done quotations. I'm the Digital Asset Investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that there are 3 kinds of men: the one that learns by reading, the few who learn by observation, the rest of them have to pee on the electric fence for themselves. Thank you for listening.